Hi everyone, I have a project that I'm working on today and I thought I'll take you along for the ride and show you what it is I'm making. Because I am an illustrator and I like to make my own Christmas cards, and I often send out cards to people that I've made personally. So I want to create a range of Christmas cards. If I like them, I might add them to my shop, but I just also want to have some cards that I can send out to my friends and family that I have made. And I have some ideas. I want to create something where something a little bit more meaningful this year, maybe with some text, maybe that gives people a little bit of a moment of reflection or to think about. So I am going to start with some brainstorm ideas. I have my dotted notebook here, so I'll write down some ideas and then I'm going to start drawing, and then I'll show you also how I'm going to edit my artwork digitally and how I'm going to print it out. And the first thing I'm going to do is put a jumper on because it is almost November. I'm really late with these Christmas cards. And yeah, I'm just being ridiculous sitting in my summer top. So let's find a jumper and get started with a bit of art. There we go. I found my jumper. I am setting myself up at my desk. Found my bullet journal and I'm just writing down some ideas. And the brainstorming phase is sometimes the hardest, isn't it? So you can see I was sort of struggling a little bit, a bit distracted by the camera as well. Just going to write down a few notes, and slowly the ideas start to flow. It just takes a little bit of time. So this is my first idea. I want to create lots of little footsteps going into the distance onto a walk. I love hiking, so this needs to be something a bit personal as well. And then around the sunset it's going to say lots of little steps into the new year. So it's just going to be quite a friendly card for the end of the year. I started to work on this artwork full of confidence because I had a plan and I was prepared, and I started to do some writing and some drawing. But spoiler, this is not going to be my final card. I took out my color pencils and started to add some color to the card. And although I really enjoyed this process, the final result was not quite the style that I wanted to go for. I might still use this for something in the future. I do like all these lines and these colors, but it's not quite, it doesn't feel quite like me. So I'm going to carry on and explore more. So you can see I started to add some footsteps. I do think it's quite cute, but that sort of minimalistic style is not quite my style. Just, yeah, I think it looks quite cute. So I am going to put that aside. I need to scan it at some point and see if I want to make any changes digitally. But I think for a first draft or a first card, I think that looks quite cute. Yeah, so let's put that aside. I like the lines as well. Maybe that's something that I can use in my other cards as well. Make a bit of a theme out of it. So yeah, try another one. Hey, I'm back, and I wanted to do something a little bit different, work with paint. This is very much an experimenting process that I'm going through at the moment. And for my next card, I'm going to use paint, make a dark sky with a little star in it, and then say something like the dark of the night is being brightened by a little star, like something about the winter nights being really dark and there being a bit of a light on the horizon, sort of thing. So this one is potentially a bit cheesy, so I need to be careful not to make it too cheesy, so let's try. I really enjoyed the experimenting with my watercolor markers and some pencils and just letting my creativity flow. But in the end I was really unhappy with the result. It just didn't feel like me. It wasn't the sort of card I would want to send out. I think I've tried too hard to make something serious, and I decided to just start from scratch and wipe all of these cards from the table and start completely anew. Back to the sketchboard. So you can see here I'm adding some text to that first card. I do really love those watercolor textures and that color blue, but the card just did not feel like me. And that's okay. I think a big part of the creative journey is experimentation and trying out things, and sometimes finding that something doesn't suit. So these were the 4 cards I made, and I'm starting from scratch again. I still really like the idea of incorporating some writing, and I wanted to do something around the word Noel. So I think it's French, but yeah, well, it means Christmas, doesn't it? And I wanted to make this quite colorful, use my color pencils, maybe a little bit magical, and I just decided to take it in a completely different direction. Maybe a little bit closer to my heart. I like a bit of like colorful, magical things. So I started to do some sketching and then used my color pencils to add some color. And immediately the process felt much more natural to me. The first cards that I made were in a completely new style and something that I had never really done before, and I just wanted to do something that felt a little bit more comfortable again. So back to color pencil and adding in some little figures in this card. And I'm still pushing myself because I have never made a word this way where I edit in all the designs within the letters. That is something that I'd never done before. But the materials that I was using, the way I was using them felt much more familiar. So I wanted to create a snowy, wintry landscape that was colorful and warm and Christmassy and a little bit magical. You can see I added a moon in the middle. I'm using my polychromos pencils and slowly building up the colors. It took me quite a long time to make this card. The entire process, all these cards took me most of the day, I would say. Here you can see adding in some more glowy layers. And in a whole, this one just felt much more me. It's funny how that works sometimes, how a drawing can feel you or not you. What that exactly is really difficult to put a finger on. I actually think I will add this to my shop. I was very happy with it, and once I scanned it in and edited it digitally, I noticed that that moon, that yellow moon in the middle, was a bit distractive from the word. It was difficult to read that second letter as an O. So I have changed it. See if you can spot the difference all the way at the end. Because I still wanted it to be readable. It's funny when you draw snow, how snow is not actually white most of the time. The white of the snow usually reflects colors from the sky or the light that is shining on it or its surroundings. So I still think this looks like snow, even though I've used a lot of greens and blues in the picture. I also decided to have these little footsteps go off the edge. Something that I decided later on. Before I wanted to keep everything within the letters, but I like to take it outside of the frame a bit as well. The scanner that I use is a ScanSnap, and the reason I bought it is because I can scan up to A3, which I need fairly often, and I find that putting things together in Photoshop is just so much work if you scan it in small pieces. Having a large scanner makes a world of difference for me, and this one doesn't take too much space on my desk, which is a big benefit. Plus the quality of the scan is really good. So once I have made a scan, I send it to my iPad. I love the airdrop function. It's something that I use so many times every day. And I cut it out. So you can see I'm going around all the edges, tidying it up, cutting out the picture, maybe adding a few little details in that I wanted to just stand out a little bit more. And I'll share with you just a little time lapse of how I did that, because my iPad makes videos of the process. So you can see I cut everything around the picture, just really tidying it up. Some and adding it back either on a white background or on a transparent background, which is really good for printing. And this is the printer that I use, which is also an A3 printer. I like to be able to do everything in A3. It is a Canon Pixma. And you can see slowly and steadily the artwork is coming out. And this is my trial just by using the original colors. And I changed the moon a little bit because I find it really hard to read the word Noel. So all scanned and printed. Then I use a paper cutter to really neatly cut the cards into the right shapes. I might speed this up a little bit. Folding all the cards over. This is always a bit of a precision work. If I make loads of cards, I usually send it off to get it printed somewhere else, but for small batches I can just do it at home. It's nice to be in control of the quality as well. You know exactly what it is that you're making, and I can package it a bit more personal. So I pull a really serious face whilst I do this. It's funny. So there we go, fold it all over. Let's have a look what they look like. What do we think? I really enjoyed taking you on this journey with me and show you how I make my cards, in this case Christmas cards. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, and if you want to buy these cards, they will be up in my shop in the next few days, maybe already when this video is live. So yeah, thank you so much for being with me here today. I will see you in my next video later this week, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.